If you aren't thinking about it, it's very easy to overlook, but your posture is essential to being healthy. Overall health, regardless if you're running, you're sitting, or you're standing, whatever you're doing, okay? Driving to work, coming home from work at the end of the day, you're a little bit more tired, you're a little less aware of your head positioning, your torso positioning, even your feet. If you're driving, hopefully you're well aware of what your feet are doing, but I digress. Good posture matters, okay? I don't think that there's anybody out there that says, posture's overrated. You know what? Standing and constantly being aware of your body's positioning, knowing what a good posture looks like, and just how easy it is to correct, and the astronomical benefits of correcting said posture have on your life. Why good posture matters. Stand up straight. Timeless advice. And if you're Jordan Peterson, stand up straight with your shoulders back, and hierarchies matter. He's a great guy, and if you got nothing but respect. It's just fun to do the impersonation from time to time. It's timeless advice we've probably all heard at one time or another. It's worth hearing, or heeding rather. Good posture is important to balance. By standing up straight, you center your weight over your feet. It also helps you maintain correct form while exercising, which results in fewer injuries and greater gains. Exactly. Just like being flexible, posture plays an infinite amount of importance of correct muscle activation whenever you're doing an exercise. Speak from a training lens for a moment. I hate that term. This also helps you maintain good balance as well. It can even strengthen your ability in tennis, golf, running, dancing, skiing, and just about every other sport or activity. Of course, anytime that you're you're moving and you need to have coordination between your upper and lower body, your posture is going to matter. Not an athlete, still pays to have good balance. Thanks, tips. Just walking across the floor or down a block requires good balance. So, notice rising from a chair, going up and down stairs, toting packages, even turning to look behind you. Yes, poor posture isn't necessarily a bad habit. Physical reasons can preclude you from having good posture. You'll see it, right? It's one of those things that's very common, and you can't really unsee if you're a personal trainer or somebody who takes your fitness very seriously. But you'll see really bad posture from people all the time through either just specifically training certain areas or not stretching out others, because it's always very interesting, right? You'll always see that there's always the 20-something-year-old kid that's in the gym, right? All he does is chest. He might do chest 2 or 3 times a week, but he'll just walk in, he'll have his pecs out, but then you'll notice it's like normally a regular human being's shoulders don't point forward quite like that, and their side profile looks something like this because they're just so tight in their pectoral muscles. So they need to engage in stretching out those muscles and potentially look at strengthening the posterior heads of the deltoid and maybe doing a little bit of back work as well. But that's just one example as well. Or, you know what, that's it. We'll just take that same straw man of an individual and they bring it up here as well. There's somebody who just does constantly work on crunches, thinking that, you know what, that six-pack is just under the surface if I do enough crunches. That's not how abs show up. They're all made in the kitchen. It's an old axiom, but it is 100% true. You do need the foundation that's there, but at the same time, just constantly doing crunches or leg lifts or anything, the only thing that's going to provide you is with a tight abdominal, okay? So try to work on strengthening your back as well to also pull out those muscles, but then also stretch out your core. But I digress. Inflexible muscles that decrease range of motion, how far a joint can move in any direction, yes. For example, overly tight, shortened hip muscles, yes, from constantly sitting all the time. Or if you see the girls at the gym, you probably are going to be able to visualize this better than I can even describe it. But if you guys know what a Smith machine is, it's colloquially referred to as the assisted squat machine, right? It has the bar and has the cables, and then it has just the 2 cups that go up and down the different slides. So you can perform a squat, you can perform a deadlift, you can, some people do shoulder presses on there, but if you do any behind your head, you should probably just be escorted directly out of the gym. But another subject for another day. But then you have the girls. I don't know where this started, how this started, or why this started, but they grab a bench, right, from, you know, like the free weight section. They bring it over, lay it horizontal or parallel to the Smith machine as well, put the little back cushion on it, and then do the upward thrust motion. They think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the gym. I guess their mindset on this one, and what I've gleaned from different people and talking with them as well, they think that works their glutes, but at that point they're just working their lower back and stretching their hip flexors. Like there's nothing to be gained from that. Just power thrusting a Smith bar. It's so dumb. There are different stretches you can do if you do have tight hip flexors. And that could be, it's called the psoas muscle, by the way. It's something else that's deeper and a little bit more tucked away that could be at the heart of a lot of other issues and an accumulation of injuries as well. And releasing that is quite tricky and the subject for another discussion. And if you're suffering with any of those pains as well, please do look up the psoas, P-S-O-S-A-S, psoas, like pneumonia. That muscle might be tight for you because it's tight for most people who do any sort of athletic exercise or sit for far too long in the day. You got tight hip flexors and then your psoas muscle in there. And once you start to activate and stretch those out, you see an immediate improvement. But those tight areas can lead to just that hunched over shrimp-like appearance. Overly tight chest muscles can pull your shoulders forward. It's also what I explained as well. Strength or muscle strength affects balance in a number of ways. The core muscles on the back, side, pelvis, and buttocks form a sturdy central link between your upper and lower body. Weak core muscles encourage slumping, which tips your body forward and thus off balance. Strong lower leg muscles also help keep you steady while standing. Yeah, as long as everything's balanced, because a lot of people just focus on doing squats because you need that nice round apple-shaped butt. How many times have I heard that? I don't really want to lose a bunch of weight. I just kind of want to make sure that I get that nice look so I can wear yoga pants. Only so many times you can hear that before you just want to consider a change in careers. But it's all the way from the feet, all the way through your body, okay? Balance is important. But yeah, correcting posture, which this was all about at the beginning, you remember. The good news, you can improve your posture with a few simple steps. Balance-specific workouts address posture. Yes, doing one-legged stuff, like most of the time whenever I'm cutting a video or I'm just recording for the day, like I'll just be walking back and forth. That's why sometimes you might see a jump cut if I'm, maybe potentially falling over or something, but I'll just move from side to side because there's, not like an anti-stress mat or anything, comfortable there. It's just simple carpet with simple overlay, but I like to keep moving, and that's why I continuously adjust my microphone stand as well. So if you notice these little things, just little inside tips to the trade, and especially on the second channel, that's just me trying to be active. That's why I don't like sitting down, because I'm far too constrained, and I like to move my hands like I'm Italian, but it's just an Irish kid with a short attention span. But yeah, when they refer to balance-specific workouts, a lot of that is just single-legged, single-armed, opposite arm and leg workouts. All of those are very important, but then also working in the stretching and strengthening as well. So it's not something I could diagnose for everybody over the internet. That's very difficult to do, but in person, even your general practitioner should be able to diagnose if you have shoulder roll, or if you're hunching over, if you have excessively weak abdominal muscles, or you have no strength in your lower back that's leading to a forward tilt, or if you're standing with a pelvic tilt that's just creating excessive lower back pain. There's a bunch of things you can do that just really, really are easy fixes. But then there's also being aware of your body's position, okay, so that you are maintaining good posture, whatever you're doing. So here's just the little bullet points. Good posture means chin parallel to the floor. Might be tough for some male feminists out there because they normally, lack the chin. Shoulders even. Yes, roll your shoulders back and down to achieve this effect. A lot of people who don't have the best of stress management out there. And one of the easiest tricks you can do to gain anybody's confidence is just some kind of inside the plates, if we're going to do this, some kind of inside shop talk for personal trainers, okay? They'll think that you're absolutely magic, but whenever somebody's initially starting to learn how to do a lift, like if you're teaching, I'll just go to this one again because it's a nice, easy example. If you're teaching somebody just how to do a regular bicep curl, okay, you just give them a dumbbell, and if there's a muscle imbalance, it's just the easiest way to work one side before the other, obviously. And then you're assessing stuff, and then all of a sudden, they're just going ahead and they're fine. And then you just put your hand on their shoulder, and it's like just relax your arm and then just stop throwing it back at the same time. Just trying to get that dumbbell up, and then you're just, right at the final pull of the lift, you just, engage your traps, and then you just try to throw up the dumbbell. And so you're absolutely screwing up your bicep curl by engaging your trap muscle when your stated purpose of doing a bicep curl is, working out your bicep. And also, most people walk up in a tense state, so if you just tell them to drop their shoulders a little bit, you immediately gain their trust. It's like, you're inside my mind. It's just most people, when they're in a stressful situation, whether they know it or not, they just walk around with their shoulders up around their ears at all times. Neutral spine, no flexing or arching or overemphasize the curve in your lower back, even if you just want to make that booty pop. Not a good idea for a long period of time. Arms at your sides with elbows straight and even, okay? Whenever you're learning the textbook, biological literature, you always have anatomical position, okay? It's arms to the side and just regular neutral posture. Arms face out, or rather palms face out at the side. It's a neutral, comfortable position that, your body is most accustomed to and, quite frankly, most naturally inclined to achieve. Abdominal muscles braced, something that you should always be doing, activating the core. But that's a topic for another video in and of itself. Hips are even, you're not standing all, misaligned. Your shoulders aren't off to the side. You aren't moving your hips out with excess weight on one foot as opposed to the other. Done for a long enough period of time, it's excessively stressful on your spine and just on balance and general decency, really. Knees even and pointing straight ahead. Also, if you're standing for a long period of time, there should also be just a slight bend, because locking stuff out, you're more likely to engage your lower back, tire it out, and then create the forward lean as well. So just another little tip that Harvard Medical didn't include. Oh well. And body weight distributed evenly on both feet, like we said, with the hips even principle. Don't be favoring one side or another, because that can lead to an accumulation of injuries by overuse or lack of use. Goes without saying, really. When sitting down, keep your chin parallel to the floor, your shoulders, hips, and knees at even heights, and your knees and feet pointed straight ahead. So if you're a smaller person sitting in a chair, like staturally smaller, not 6.5 feet tall. We'll talk about them in a minute. But if you sit at a desk all day, normally you just kind of want to get up and get around every hour or so. I know some people will tell you every half an hour, but sometimes that's just not possible and you just want to get the work done. But hey, try and aim for every hour, 90 minutes, just get up and have a drink of water. And then when you're sitting back down, if your legs don't perfectly come down to the floor, put your feet up on something so that they're flat and that you can achieve that desired 90 degrees with your hips, your knees, and your ankles. And that'll also prevent your legs from going to sleep or being any undue discomfort and any undue stress on your lower lumbar spine. And then, of course, if you're much larger, there's no shame sitting on something that boosts you up. If your knees end up coming up above your hips, elevate your hips. Something I have to do whenever I'm editing for a long period of time. I just have to adjust it and find a way, because the chair that's right in front of me is really not conducive to just sitting down and having long editing sessions. But those are just some tips and tricks, because I think posture is very important. It's underrated when it comes to just homeostatic behavior in your body, just trying to maintain and being as healthy as possible. It doesn't get the limelight that it should, and it's just so easy to fix. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.